Tonight, the King 5 investigators exposed the federal government's failure to help sick workers at the Puget Sound Naval Shipyard. And that failure has not only left some workers sick, but financially devastated.
We found a plant at the shipyard in Bremerton was so hazardous. Employees were exposed to poisons like cyanide for years. As
King 5 investigator Susannah reports in her series, 7 Years of Cyanide, after getting sick on the job, some saw their lives shattered well beyond their health problems.
It's a daily struggle to just figure out who gets paid this week.
For the first time in Kevin Albert's adult life, he's broke and desperate.
This has been a nightmare. This is my PSE. Yep, this is a past due.
His family has gone without electricity, had to turn to a food bank, been sent to collections.
So what has that done to you to go without a paycheck?
It has been miserable.
Albert hasn't had a steady paycheck for 4 years since getting sick at the Puget Sound Naval Shipyard. This is where he worked, inside their wastewater treatment facility. It was labeled by the Navy as state-of-the-art. But hundreds of pieces of documentation obtained by King 5 show it was actually a dangerous place, plagued with broken safety systems. For 7 years, Albert and other employees were routinely exposed to poisons such as chlorine and cyanide gas.
And this is for chest pains, for anxiety, depression.
Because he got sick on the job, Kevin Albert, by federal law, is supposed to be put in another position away from toxins or be paid his salary. But neither of those things has happened.
I keep thinking that they're going to fix it. And I'll get caught up.
On several occasions, the banks threatened to take away his home, the home he shares with his wife and special needs daughter.
To feel like you can't support your own family. I can't describe how bad that makes me feel.
After a successful 15-year career at the shipyard, even winning Employee of the Year in 2015, Albert says the federal government turned its back on him after that career made him sick with a serious lung condition.
I wished I would have never taken a job in the shipyard.
7 specialists from Group Health, Kaiser Permanente, and Harborview Medical Center concluded his respiratory conditions were definitely or most likely caused by workplace exposures. Even medical officers at the shipyard agree, finding his breathing problems to be occupational. But a Department of Labor program set up to help sick federal workers had a different idea. They denied him workers' compensation, saying there's not enough medical evidence to show his problems are work-related.
If I was the person making those decisions, I wouldn't be able to sleep.
Part of the reason for the denials? The Department of Labor sent Albert to Oregon to see one of their doctors. He found Albert may have some hay fever, but in general,
he decided that I was completely healthy.
The Oregon doctor pointed out that the treatment plant featured a closed-loop system to keep employees safe, meaning holding tanks were closed off with lids, keeping toxic vapors out of breathing spaces. But that's wrong. There weren't any lids. The original design called for them, but we found they were never installed. Hazards like cyanide water sat in open tanks for 7 years, with dangerous vapors escaping.
While the Department of Labor is putting Kevin Albert through the ringer, so is his employer, the Puget Sound Naval Shipyard. It's the Navy's duty to accommodate him, get him a job away from chemicals and toxins that would make him sicker. But so far it's been 14 months, and there's no job and no paycheck.
So he goes from being Employee of the Year to now someone they're not even offering any type of accommodated position. It's totally outrageous.
Kevin Peck is Albert's attorney. He's filed a formal discrimination complaint against the Department of Defense.
He's given years of his life to work for the shipyard, and when he suffers as a result of the gases they exposed him to, they have to accommodate him, and they refuse to do so.
This is also for anxiety.
The health problems, financial worries, uncertainty about his future led Kevin Albert to develop anxiety, depression, and thoughts of suicide. During a group interview with other affected workers, he said he's had enough of being punished for getting sick by the same people who made him that way.
I am so pissed that they can just ignore us, and that's what they thought. And they figured we can outlive them. we can outlast them. We'll just keep ignoring them. Done. I am done playing that game.
Both the Navy and the Department of Labor said they couldn't address specific employee issues because of privacy concerns.